So I've been thinking a lot about social distancing, which we're all asked to do today, and I've been thinking about it in terms of culture. When we study ancient culture today, we tend to get our teeth into it, and then what's been happening in New Age industries is people have been coupling that desire to learn together with their own personal needs. And when one's personal needs are ultimately and fundamentally narcissistic, then it makes for a not very good mix, and it makes for people being in the face of ancient culture. What seems to happen is that we're all in need of a culture, of something to which we belong. And by degrees, we move in closer and closer to that culture, learning about it, hoping to be educated with it, and taking it on board as something that we want as our own. Of course, we've lost culture. I've gone over this many times. We've lost culture quite a bit in this society, and the new dominant culture that we have now that is based on civilized thinking, it isn't really anything to write home about, because it's all based on growing up, being educated at school, not being educated about life so much, but education in the sense of academia. And the higher we go in academia, the better we're praised for what we do. And then we have to get on in life when we're an adult. If we choose, we raise a family, we get a mortgage, and then we go along, and it's all money, isn't it? We have to have money to be able to do all this, and then we're admired for doing different things. So when you think about it, you think of social distancing or cultural distancing. Now, social and cultural distancing, they might sound very different, but if you think of what that actually means, cultural distancing, like social distancing, could just mean that you don't have to avoid everybody altogether, but you've just got to keep a respectful distance so that the person you are distant from can breathe. So what it also means is that people haven't honoured that cultural distancing with my culture, which means that I end up being culturally isolated. When you think social isolation is because you have to stay away after you haven't honoured the code of practice, what you have to do to respect other people and their health and their lives. Culturally, it's the same. I thought a lot about this. It really does ring bells when I think about it, because people find it very difficult to respect each other's space. And that is what the whole of life is about, respecting each other's space. And we've got far too many people who gate crash into each other's affairs, and others, well, you've got to have that space so that you feel that you're able to breathe. You feel a sense of well, being listened to and being understood. So the cultural bit is really, really trying, but it really makes sense, I'm sure. Hopefully, you might agree. So try, if you can, to give culture, any culture, a bit of distance so that you can learn about it. You don't have to avoid it altogether, but learn about it without putting yourself in the centre of it and making yourself what a culture is all about. It's not about you, it's about the culture that people go into cultural education, learning about different shamanic cultures and ancient cultures, because they want to learn about themselves. I find that a little bit strange, because you should be learning about the culture and then applying that to yourself, surely. And then you can say, wow, that was interesting. Because when I thought about that, it meant a lot, because I could apply it to myself, but I don't have to go around putting myself narcissistically in the centre of the culture and then surrounding myself with it, with artifacts and tools and merchandise that I get from Mind Body Spirit shops, and pretending that, well, it's pretend culture, isn't it? When you pretend that you are in the middle of it, that you are it. Oh dear, I've struggled with this for so many years, and so many people have not understood where I'm coming from, and they just think I'm talking a load of trash, I think. But I'm not. I'm not. And there are a few people out there who understand that I'm not talking trash. They understand what I mean by cultural distancing, by learning about something in a respectful way. If I respect you, surely you can have the grace to respect me. Please try it, and try thinking about this. So, thank you for your time. Thanks for listening.